Let me ask you this. Are you financially secure? Do you want to be financially secure? Have you dreamed about being financially secure but lack the know-how? Well, today we're going to be sitting down with Ron Goady of WealthWave. He's going to show us how to obtain our financial dreams. We're going to be talking to him next on the Small Business Voice. Hi, I'm Justin Duncan. Today I'm sitting down with Ron Goady. I got to meet Ron Goady. I got to say, Ron, you look a lot like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do your kids say that about you?
That my kids did comment about me. That I do remind them of Uncle Phil, and I guess the fact that I don't have much in the way of hair on the top of my head, it's just kind of solidified that. And also I'm kind of a small guy like Uncle Phil too, so that's another reason too. So.
You ever catch yourself going, "Will Carlton, go to your room"? Anything like that?
Well, I didn't think I did that, but my kids would say, Charles, Chris, go to your room. So.
Well, thank you for coming on to the show today.
Thanks for inviting me.
So you work for WealthWave?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is your mission statement?
Our mission statement is to serve families and improve financial literacy through education and access to products that match their needs. And if you don't mind, let me just share one of our quotes that I heard on one of our podcasts that was shared by Martin Matthews. And he said, "It's not a man's dreams that fail him, but it's the lack of know-how and to make those dreams a reality." And so what we do at WealthWave is through financial literacy, we help people, we help them identify what those dreams are, and then we teach the financial literacy part of it, of how money works, to help them accomplish those dreams and goals.
Wow, okay. So we're getting to know you. So tell me about your past work history.
Well, I'm new to the whole the insurance financial products industry. My background has been in customer service and client relationships, and so I'm used to developing a relationship with people, building that rapport, and then going forward to help them accomplish their dreams. One of the last jobs I had was I was an account manager for a software company. We worked with colleges and universities to help them with their transition. Remember back in year 2000, we had the Y2K, and we didn't think the lights were going to come on, right?
Yeah, I remember
and so everybody was buying up software. And so I was working with, I had about 50 schools in the central part of the United States, and I would work with presidents and university presidents and IT directors and that type of thing, and dean of students and financial aid directors. And we would implement the software needed for the next century for their students. So the students can just go online, find the college or university they want to go to, enroll, get their grades, and when all's said and done and they graduate, the alumni can keep up with them too, so they can submit their gifts to the college afterwards. But that's what I did. So, and those implementations were about a 3 to 4 year implementation. So long-term relationships are things that I'm all about. And one of the reasons why I selected WealthWave was because we're all about that too. We're not just a person that's just going to come in and just market a product and then you never hear from us anymore. Yeah. We're interested in staying with you from the time we meet with you to retirement and beyond, because we also want you to leave a legacy for your family so that when they get married, when your kids get married, they have something to start with. Most of us get married and we're just out there on our own and we have to put it together by ourselves. We want to help them get started with having something that their parents have left them going forward.
Well, it makes me ask the question, when I went to school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, they taught us how to write checks, but they didn't really teach us, financial education.
Sure.
Now, is that offered in states, or is that just kind of like you're shooting in the barrel and hoping you're,
Well, it's interesting you asked that. Forbes magazine, which is a business publication, they had an article in April of this year, And they said that only 5 states in the United States require financial literacy for their high schoolers. So that's a full year of personal finance, financial literacy training. So you can imagine the millions of people who are graduating, the high schoolers are graduating every year. Their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, and then their aunts and their uncles and their mother and father and grandfather, going back generations, who do not understand how money works. And that's how a lot of people get tripped up, because they don't understand the basic of the rules. And you can't play Monopoly if you don't know the rules of the game. And so one of the things we do is help you understand those rules.
So when you're starting out in life, you're kind of starting out, you're using a credit card, you're trying to start, you're either going to college and you're getting into debt that way, or you go to work, you want to buy houses, you get into debt, you got the credit cards coming. What is a good way, if you're a parent, what is a good way to get your child started to reach their financial goals? Like maybe when they go to college, the money's there. Is there a way to do that?
One of the things I would suggest that an individual do before they get involved in credit cards, they need to understand the rule of 72. And on my website, there's a video that talks about the rule of 72 and how that works. Basically, the short and the long is you take the interest rate that you're being charged and you divide that into 72, and that tells you how many times that money is going to double. So it can work for you, and it can also work against you. Okay, it can work for you if you're putting money in an account. Banks are only paying you 1% or less. So if you take 1% into 72, that means that $1 that you get is going to double every 72 years, and that's a lifetime for us, and that's not going to work. So what we offer is financial products that allow individuals to get a 7 or 8 or 10% or even higher interest rate, and you take that 12%, let's say, into 72. That means that you're going to get 6 doubles. Okay, every 6 years that money's going to double, and that's what's important. So, looking at a real quick illustration here, that's how it works if you're saving. That's how you can use it for yourself. How it works against you is if you have a credit card and it's got a 20% interest rate on it, you divide 20 into 72, it's going to come out a little bit more than 3. Okay, and that means that if you pay that minimum amount, you're going to be paying, that money is going to double every 3 years going forward. So you need to understand that before you get out there with credit cards and everything else. And the average person has never heard of the rule of 72. But I can tell you that the executives of banking institutions and lending institutions, they know all about that, because that's how they're making their money.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I already feel like we've been financially educated a little bit. Just learning the rule of 72.
Just a little bit there.
Wow. Yeah. So you mentioned how you were in software, beforehand, and you told me your story, but I want you to share with the people watching. What happened to you at the end of Y2K, and what happened? What got you into what you're doing today?
Okay. All right. At the end of Y2K, in the year 2000, or prior to that, everybody was buying up software, because, as I mentioned earlier, we didn't know if the lights were going to come on. I think Microsoft said that Windows was only programmed to work up to 1999. Okay, and so we had to, folks they didn't know, so people were just buying up software like crazy, and so that was going fine, and we had that .com period there, and then after Y2K, everyone bought their software, and then we had some things happen in the economy, like 9/11 and that type of thing, that just really just kind of sucked the air out of the economy overall. People stopped buying. I had gotten, not to pat myself on the back, but I really enjoyed what I did, and I had good rapport with the clients I was working with, and got some pretty nice salary increases, 7, 8, 9% salary increases. And when I had these increases, I was like, I really appreciate the money, but I wasn't really expecting this. And they said, well, do you not want it? I'm like, oh no, I'll take it. But what happened was, after Y2K in around 2000, the software industry started to truncate or reduce or downsize, because no one was buying software anymore. And we changed, the company, like many organizations, they changed their restructuring and changed VPs and everything else. And the new vice president we had, his job was to reduce expenses. Well, Ron showed up on radar because his salary was so high. And so I was let go. The downside of that was it was just a real bad time. I was let go. My mom died, who I was really close to, and that happened. And then I got laid off, and then everything just the marriage fell apart, and I had, you know, she was their mother is a great woman, and the kids that I have are awesome, but the pressures, the financial pressures, we just couldn't survive those.
But something happened, you know,
Yeah.
something happened that got you into what you're doing today.
Sure.
And that's the one thing I want to talk about, because the one thing I wanted to emphasize to all of you is this is a man that's, look, we're business owners, yeah, we're here to make money, but there's a personal, you know, first and foremost is we're here to help people, and we're going to hear Ron's story of why he does what he's doing today.
And I'm kind of resisting that.
I
Okay.
know.
All
Sorry,
right.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I
but
understand. I understand.
Yeah.
My best friend, David, had in 2013. It was July 3rd of 2013. Is when the situation happened with David. But he was a very good friend, and I miss him dearly to this day. He died of liver cancer, and about 6 to 9 months before he died, he had a $300,000 life insurance policy, from what his wife said. And doggone it, Justin.
It's all right.
David canceled that policy, and when he died, he had no life insurance. And he's got 3 kids, 3 beautiful kids. One son graduated a couple of years ago and is working now. He has a daughter, the youngest one, who just started college. She's going into her 2nd year in Texas, and they have a middle child who is autistic and needs full-time attention, basically. And David died and didn't leave anything for anybody. And if David had told me, you know, we don't talk, guys don't talk. And if David had told me, because according to what Lisa said, his wife, the policy was only $100 a month. And if he had said, this is what the situation was, I would have paid the policy for him, okay? But we don't talk, and so I didn't know what the situation was. And so he died. And doggone you, Justin.
It's okay. Let me reiterate something here really quick. You know, driving around, I see this all the time, where there's families out there that you know, they lose a loved one, and they're trying to do a barbecue, or they're trying to do a car wash to make some money to pay for funeral expenses. You know, the reason why we're doing this is so people can avoid that. There's ways around that. This is a man that had to, you know, his wife and his, you know, her 3 kids had to go through this with their dad, and it's a really sad story. But with sad stories, we can learn something from this too. And
one thing I learned from that was that anybody I talk to regarding financial literacy, I do not want to have another David on my watch. I'm going to do everything I can to let them know the benefits and the cost of the benefits of having and the cost of not having.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to have another David on my watch. And so everybody I talk to, I'm committed to letting them know how money works, so they can plan. Because David's wife, Lisa, and their 3 kids, they're beautiful family, okay? And I don't want to see anybody struggle like Lisa has had to struggle with her 3 kids.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, we have the money's not going to replace the person, the loved one.
Absolutely.
But it's also going to help keep things, you know, keep the house, keep the, you know, keep the car, kind of keep everything in line.
Absolutely.
So you know, that's one of the good things about, you know, having insurance like that. And you know, there's different policies that, you know, that you offer. So I mean, thank you for telling that story, because I think it's really important for people to know, you know, who Ron Goady is.
Yeah.
And,
I just don't like getting emotional about it. But.
Yeah, I know. Well, it happens, but it's nice for people to see that because they know look, I trust you. I do business with you. It's people need to know who the good people in Modesto are, like who to do business, because we don't have advertisers. Like I don't see billboards going down the freeway like, hey, look, there's Ron Goady.
Right.
It's we don't have that. We're small business owners, and this is an avenue for their voice to be heard.
Sure.
So, and that's good. I'm glad that you told us, that story, because it's good for people to know. So that's you did that to become. That's the reason why you became a financial professional. Now, let me ask you this. So, if let's say you graduate high school, you don't really know what to do. Is that an option to where? I could be. I'm in my 40s. Sometimes I wonder, what the hell am I doing? So is that an option? Like, do I have to have a college background to get into being a financial educator?
No. There's two sides of this. One, for a person to get started, you don't have to. If you don't know anything, about how money works, we'll be more than happy to educate you. All we just ask you to have is a heart and a commitment to learn, and to have dreams. And we can help you put out the blueprint, the financial blueprint for you, or the strategies to help you get going in that way. So that's number one. If we're also, as I mentioned, there's millions of people out there who don't know how money works, and so we're also looking for people who would be looking to possibly start on a part-time basis of coming in, learning how we do business, and to teach financial literacy that way as well. And all you have to do is just have the commitment to learn and to do what you need to do. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah, well, and you said commitment. This is something you have to put into work, and you have family and loved ones that need, that need attention, that need, a service like this.
I believe it was Vince Lombardi who said that the only place that you're going to find success before work is in the dictionary. Okay? And so it's going to, because we're talking, particularly if it's a person at any age group, but if you're starting at 18 or 20 years of age, okay, and we're talking about getting you up to retirement and beyond, we're talking years of working, of consistently working to put this forward. So yeah, it's going to take work, it's going to take effort, but we're willing to do that, and you can come to WealthWave, and you don't have to, like with some other companies, your net worth has to be a certain amount. With WealthWave, and all you have to do is just come and just have a desire and a dream, and we'll be more than happy to work with you.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's actually one of my questions is, do you have to have a certain type of portfolio to see?
No.
You don't.
No.
So that's good to know, because it's you want to help build that portfolio, and get it to a certain spot, to be financially secure.
And if they're happy with the service that I provide, they're going to be more than happy to share their success and who helped them get there with their friends and neighbors and everything else. And that's how we do our business, is through word of mouth and referral.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully the show too. Hopefully the show will get you. Again, this is Ron Goady. Ron is a Gold Star approved person. Now, I know you. Oh, I have a question for you actually. So, I've attempted to take my insurance test. It did not go so well. But you have to be licensed in certain states.
You have to be licensed and to market life insurance, to my knowledge, in all 50 states.
In all 50 states.
In all 50
okay.
states.
So what states are you licensed in?
I'm licensed in California and in Texas because I lived in Texas for a
Okay.
while, and I've got clients there. My family's there. And so I take care of the clients in Texas as well as those here in California. With the beauty of the internet, it doesn't rely, you don't have to, the face-to-face it's important, but there are some things you can do that don't require a face-to-face, and the internet works just well, as well as Skype and other things too.
So if somebody's watching this from Idaho, and they want to do business with you, they either have to move to Texas or you have to get licensed in that state, right? Or California.
Yeah, we have them contact me. We can work that out. Either I'll work out a way to do business with them directly, or we'll find somebody up in Idaho that can work with them.
Yeah, and WealthWave, how big is WealthWave? Like,
okay, WealthWave is a marketing organization, and if you visit my website, you'll see that there's a number of videos that are out there that are put together by WealthWave. WealthWave is so committed to how money works, the phrase "how money works," that WealthWave has even copyrighted that phrase, "how money works." So if you see it now out there and and they haven't gotten permission from WealthWave, you'll see derivatives of how money works, but you're not going to see the phrase "how money works" out there anymore, unless WealthWave has approved it.
Okay. Well, now I've tried contacting you on the weekends, and you're usually there on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you go to church. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a charity that you're involved in too,
Yes.
and I do want I want you to share with the people about the charity that you do.
Okay. Well, here in Modesto, California, there's a nonprofit organization called the Men's Group, and the website is themensgroup.org. What we're an organization of African American men who are committed to helping African American young men, those who are in high school, for scholarships for college. And one of the things that we have, one of the programs that we have is what we call a Saturday Leadership Academy. And in that Saturday Leadership Academy, it's about 10 weeks. And what we do is we have a series of videos. We teach them how to dress for success, food etiquette when you're at a restaurant, what fork and spoon you should be using, and how to conduct yourself at the table. Also etiquette as it relates to the internet. We talk about there are benefits of Facebook, but you've got to be careful in what you put out there because employers are looking at Facebook. Yeah. And so we talk about that, and then one of the things that and we also talk about financial literacy. Mm-hmm. We have a little program where they're actually buying and trading stocks in a practice environment, and then the person who's had the most success as far as watching the market and the rate of return, there's a little financial stipend at the end of that to help them with that. And then we also have as we talk about how to conduct yourself in an interview, we videotape them in that interview, and so that they know what they're saying and what not to say, to help them go forward. And then at the end, when they graduate, they're all responsible for writing a speech and delivering that speech for about 3 minutes. And they're graded on, they're judged, I should say, not graded, they're judged on the content of the speech, the delivery, how they project their voice, because they have to give this to a group of, it's at the graduation that they do this. And so they, with their friends and family and the board members and everybody there, they give a talk about whatever it is they want to talk about, and we judge them on these different criteria. So we have had some students who have gone off and they've gotten their master's degrees. We've had some students who have done it the first time, came back and audited the program the second year, and we've got one student, I believe, went down to Cal Poly in Pomona, I think is where he went. And he wanted to go into marine biology. And so he realized the first year it didn't work for him. He was not serious about it. Mm-hmm. He came back and wanted to audit it, and came back in, and that's when, and then he got his grades and everything up and went down to Pomona. So we hear from some of the students, not as often as we'd like to, but they do come back and give us some feedback about what's going on, and that's the payoff.
Yeah.
When you make a commitment to give your time, and you have a couple of fellows who have taken it, and they come back and they tell us at our spring event where we have a barbecue event every year, and they come back and say, the men's group made a difference in my life in this way. And it's great. It's great.
And so the first thing is dress for success. You want to be able to, so if I was applying for a job, I'd have a leg up if I was dressed like this. Mm-hmm. So that's a good tip. Mm-hmm. Not to mention a lot of other things.
Right. Well, you have to know how to project.
Yeah.
Talk clearly, and all those things are really important.
Gennaro's always telling me, you talk more clearly, you know, I get that all the time from him, so.
Yeah.
So Ron, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you,
Mm-hmm.
how would they be able to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is on my website, which is www.wealthwave.com / and / is the one that's leaning to the right. Okay? R Goady, Goady. Go to that website, and there I have a bunch of videos that they can look at for financial literacy education. But over on the left side, you see a picture of yours truly, and the contact information is there, and you can even book an appointment. There's a button there to book an appointment, so it makes it really easy and that type of thing. So my cell phone number is there, and you've got the website address, and my email address is there, and then you can just book an appointment. So that's probably the best way, easiest way to do that, and that's available 24/7.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you. That's all the time we have for the day. If you're a small business owner that wants to come on the Small Business Voice, please email me at newsmallbusinessvoice@gmail.com, or you can call the station here at MyTV26. Just look at the phone numbers on the bottom as they're going by. Again, thank you for coming on, Ron.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching the Small Business Voice. I'm Justin Duncan. We'll see you soon.